Hi guys, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. In today's reading, we're going to take a look at what is awakening within you. What new ideas are coming to the surface? Are there any downloads, any activations, realizations, any gifts that want to come through? We're just going to see what is awakening within your soul and your spirit on your life journey at the moment that you are tuning into this reading. So we have 3 pile choices to choose from today. We're going to choose your significator card now. Pile number 1, please tap me into the collective of pile number 1. Got some cards laying all wonky. Wow. Alright, so these bring to the ground. Just going to do number 2, number 3. Okay, so pile number 1, you have Not For You, and that is with the bunny rabbit. Number 2, we have a change in the wind, and that is with the little Buddha statue. And pile number 3, we have the Observer, and that is with the little dragon skull, dragon head. Okay, these are your pile choices. Pause the video if you need more time to meditate. As always, use your intuition when choosing your pile. You may be drawn to more than one pile. You may have messages and more than one reading. Just take what resonates for you and leave the rest. They are meant for somebody else's reading. The timestamps will be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you guys at your readings. Welcome to your reading, pile number 1. So you were drawn to the Not For You card and the bunny rabbit. So we have card number 6, and that relates to family. I'm going to put this over here. Family, relationships, material comforts, home life. Not for you. Let's see what else we can. The Scribe. Okay. So there's going to be some wisdom coming through here. What is awakening within? The 5 of Fire. Okay. So with your first card, this relates to there being something that you've been working on. Maybe there's a project, something you've been working very, very hard at. It could be a relationship, it could be a job, some project, and maybe you're not quite seeing the results that you would like to see. Those of you where this involves a relationship, maybe there's been just a lot of struggle, a lot of conflict, disagreements, where you don't see eye to eye. Maybe you've been trying to work on the relationship and work through, you know, the miscommunications or the things that don't quite make the relationship feel stable and solid. And you're just not seeing the results that you'd like to see. And sometimes you just have to realize and come to that place where some things aren't meant to be, and you know, rejection is divine protection here. You're meant for something better. You're being offered something else that's going to be more loving, peaceful, gentle, more healthy, balanced, not as hard to work at. You know, yes, their relationships do involve work, but if it's something that's repetitive over and over and over again, there's just a lesson that's not being learned, and there can't be forward movement until both parties are wanting to have that resolve. For those of you where this may be a project, maybe there's some kind of investment where you've been putting all this effort into something, you've been planning, and you're just not seeing the rewards that you'd like to see. It's not getting the results that you're putting into it, and it may be time for you to make that choice, that decision to move forward, maybe seeing things in a different way, that maybe you're meant for something better. This could be part of the mission, part of the job, that you're meant to expand in something better. These are tools you're going to need, but it's not the end all. You know, there's something more that's being offered to you, and not to be so limited in your perception, or maybe feeding the ego, where the ego wants to see, you know, the results from all the hard work. And sometimes, you know, our ego can do that, where we feel like this is what I'm really passionate about, but I'm not seeing, you know, a lot of people respond to it in the way I thought they would. And so it kind of makes you feel a little, you know, unheard, unseen, unvalidated for your efforts. And what I can tell you, this is another way of seeing things, so that we're not entertaining the ego and the fear of not being good enough or valued and appreciated. If it's something that comes from your heart, and like your soul is truly like wanting to offer this and share this with others, and you're only seeing, like, you know, a few people respond to it, it doesn't mean that your message doesn't have value or worth or meaning. Like, you have no idea what your kindness, your effort, your light, whatever your message is, whatever inspires other people, you don't know what that light can do for an individual. You know, it's just like, you never know what people are going through in life, because people don't wear it all the time on their sleeve. A lot of people hide, you know, their issues or their pain. And think of the individual who may be so depressed and feeling like they're completely unseen and then unacknowledged or unloved, and you happen to be at the store and cross them and you offer them a smile, you know, and for them that could have meant everything for them. You know, some people may be suicidal, and you don't know what your light, what your message you're offering can do for other people, to inspire them and to give them hope, so that they can you know, see more light and love in the world around them. We don't know when we do things from our heart, from our place of inspiration, the trickle effect that it can create in the world. You know, and it takes small ripples to create big waves. And never, you know, it's that, what is the term? I want to say you don't want to shame yourself or quiet yourself or silence yourself from expressing your light. You know, don't dim yourself in any kind of way. You have to self-validate, you know, and approve, and not seek for that outside validation. Just know that when you're doing things from your heart, that's what you're meant to be doing. But if you find yourself getting like to a point where you just are having technical issues, it's not getting up off the ground, it's actually costing your money, and you know, you finally you start hitting those roadblocks, you know, that's how you know that something needs to shift. You're being stopped because there's somewhere else you need to go, and it's a redirection. It's not necessarily you're not being rejected, you know what I mean? You're being redirected. So like, don't go this way, I need you to go this way. And it's paying attention to spirit signs and messages, and allowing yourself to go with the flow, to be guided where you need to go, because you're being offered something even though you might not be able to see it right now. You're seeing the struggle, you're seeing the, you know, not seeing the results and everything like that. And so you may be trying to, you know, having that internal conflict with yourself, and it's time for you're being asked to shift your shift your perception and see things from a different point of view. You know, access your wisdom. Spirit is communicating with you, guiding you, and offering something much better for you along the path. We have the solar plexus, and it's your confidence, your ability to, you know, have the courage to speak your truth, to follow your light, to listen to your heart, to have more confidence in yourself, more courage, self-empower, you know, self-empowering words. How do you speak to yourself? Not seeing things as a failure just because you're not seeing those results immediately. Vision. Yeah, you're being asked to tune into your intuition. Step outside of your mind and come back into like your heart. We have the hearth. Follow your passion. You have this vision. There's something that you want to offer to the world, you know? No. And it has high value, you know? Just because you're not seeing the results yet doesn't mean it's not worthy and it's not good enough. We have motions. Yeah, continue to act on your dreams, on your visions. And the more you do that, like the more you're going to feel secure in that. We have 22 and 44. Yeah, setting healthy boundaries to protect yourself. Those of you, okay, so this is for the relationships here. Setting healthy boundaries, following your heart, knowing your worth, having more confidence in yourself. Know when it's time to say goodbye, to be able to move forward into a relationship that's a little bit more stable, makes you feel more secure, more confident. It might not be so hard, you know. Some people, you know, they just, it's so, for whatever reason, they just do not want to change. They are in that comfortable bubble and what makes them feel good. And unfortunately, sometimes they can just be very self-centered, and it's really all about their own needs. And relationships aren't about self. They are about, you know, blending and combining resources and knowledge and wisdom, and being with somebody on the journey, you know what I mean? You want them to be like your best friend. You want to be able to, if you're having a bad day, you want them to, you know, support you and be there and uplift you, hold your hand through your struggles, be there to, you know, pick up the slack whenever you're not feeling good, you know, things like that. You want somebody who's that equal companionship for you, and it shouldn't be so hard, and it shouldn't be something that makes you feel, you know, like you're less than in some way because you have needs, or you have boundaries that you set up for yourself that make you feel like you are supported and that you're loved. You know, everybody should treat each other with respect, and a lot of people just don't, because that's the way that they were raised. That's how they, you know, unfortunately model their relationships after the way that they are shown through their own family. Anyways, so we have, there's something being offered to you that's going to make you feel more, you know, grounded, more aligned. Yeah, and this offering has to do with something that you're very passionate about. It's part of your vision, of your dream, whatever it is that you hold in your heart. There's something that's coming in for you, but you have to cut the cords to the past, whatever is holding you down, whether it's your own fear, your own mind, your own ego, or if it's an individual in the relationship that is preventing you from, you know, moving forward or having the life or this dream that you desire. Yeah, it's time for change. It's time for you. I feel like you are awakening to that. You're starting to see the patterns of behavior. You're starting to see where things just haven't been working out, no matter how much effort you put into it. It's just not meant to be. And it doesn't mean that it's not something in the future that may come back around, where now you can implement those skills. And I have been through that before. And it's just spirit guiding you to bigger and better things that are meant for part of your soul journey, and not to see things from a place of rejection and not being good enough. It is that there's more to the puzzle. You know, there's more information to gather, there's more lessons, there's more wisdom for you to have that you can offer and share with others. You're just meant for more, number one. You're meant for something greater. What do we have? We have clarity, truth, heightened intuition, and seeing things. Yeah, you're starting to see things from a higher perspective. You're seeing that being rejected doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, or when things don't work out, it doesn't mean because you're not good enough. It just means that it's not in the cards at this time. You know, there's still this fortune that awaits you here, this untapped potential that we have here with the fortune cookie. And so you're being guided to activate and open that extras. We have fears. Yeah, I feel like this is, you were seeing things from a negative perspective, and the way that you were perceiving them was, of course, like, I'm not good enough, and you were disempowering yourself and trying to silence your gifts and your dreams and say that they weren't, you know, they're not meant for you. And that might be like partial truth, only to the fact that maybe it's not meant for you right now. You know, this is part of the plan, but it's not, you know, the whole kit and caboodle here. There's more things meant for you. We have the masculine energy. Yeah. Coming out right beside the solar plexus, yeah. You're learning to empower yourself, to esteem yourself, or you're being asked to do that, to see your potential, to see your light, to see your value. What you have is valuable and worthy and deserves more than what you're settling for. Past and suffering. And that could be because something in your childhood, an old wound that needs healing, you know, where you don't feel good enough, that's all. You don't feel worthy and valuable. And so working with the Divine Feminine will help you restore that. Working with Divine Masculine to empower yourself and to see your worth, see your value, will also help you. It's the feminine that needs the cleansing, you know, where the feminine needs to feel valued and loved and appreciated for her creations, for her beauty, for her light. Okay, these better be straight on the camera. I think they're a little bit off center. Okay, let's see what else we have. 44 is about integrity and foundations and stability. We have mystery. Oh my goodness. Mystery and creativity. Ooh. So something that's also going to be awakening within you is some kind of creative gifts that you didn't know that you had. And that's why you're being asked to maybe course correct a little bit, because there's more tools to gather, which is typically the thing. I've had this in my life where there's something that I engaged in, you know, this anytime you're learning like a new craft or a new art, a new skill, you end up like loving it so much that you put all of your energy and your time into it, right? And then you start to master it. You get so good, and you know, it just becomes easier and easier. And then you find yourself almost kind of like getting bored with it, you know, and like feeling run down a little bit. Maybe you have, you know, just worked so hard and you put all of your energy into it, and it just seems like you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you just can't reach a certain level like of a breakthrough. You know what I mean? Like you've reached the plateau and you can't seem to break through and expand further. And so you keep getting hit with these blocks over and over again, and you're like, okay, why can't I seem to go further than this? Like, and it's because there's something else that you're meant to be doing and putting your energy and your time towards, and you've been like very single-minded and single-focused on this one thing, you know, that you're good at, but you have all these other talents and skills and abilities that go along with this. It's not just this one, there's more. And you're being asked to disperse your energy a little bit more into not just one area of focus, to encompass more, not just the one. It's like everything is an ingredient to the pie, right? And so you need to access all of these gifts. And if you limit yourself to just this one, you know, it's this narrow tunnel vision where it's the single-mindedness, you know, and what you want to do is open and expand to encompass more, because you are bigger and grander than the box you're putting yourself into. And you have to be open and going with the flow a little bit more, because you're being guided to something that Spirit wants to offer you, to remind you of these other gifts and talents that you have. That's part of, you know, your soul, also to be tapped into and to remember that you have and to utilize, and not just focus on this one thing. You have a lot of other gifts and talents. Okay, sorry about that. What I want to do is get you one more card, because I don't like that empty space there. Ooh, look, and we have abundance. Okay, so abundance awaits you when you start opening and expanding your enterprise here, your ideas, your dream, this project. All right, so at the risk of just repeating myself over and over, which sometimes I tend to do in my readings, and I guess that's just Spirit wanting me to really like drill it into you guys. This has special meaning if I say it more than once. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and end your reading here, pile number 1. Thank you so much for being here today. If you resonated with this reading and you feel like sharing your story below, thank you so much for showing your support. If you don't know what to say, just comment pile number 1 was your reading. Thank you all so much. Sending you lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So you guys were drawn to a change in the wind card with the little Buddha. So with the change in the wind, sometimes that can be just self-explanatory, right? There's something that's changing in your life. New changes coming in. It can be perception, awareness. Maybe you're not sure which direction to go. Maybe you're being offered a couple perspectives, different ideas, inspiration, and you're not sure which way to go. Maybe there's just a lot of change in your life right now and you're unsure of your direction. And we have the little Buddha here about enlightenment, so you're probably about to be enlightened on something. Okay, so let's see what else wants to come through. Alright, so what is awakening? We've got wisdom. The child. And the king of water. Well, let's make sure that these are straight on the camera. Okay, looks good. So I feel like you're being asked to go on a spiritual journey, or you have been on a spiritual quest to illuminate your fears, to recognize and understand and heal your inner child. And I feel like you have learned how to nurture your inner child, protect your inner child. You have faced your fears. You've entered into your shadows. You understand where they come from. You understand that they originate from your childhood. And I feel like you have been learning how to love yourself and nurture yourself and be that protective force for your inner child, for your own light. I feel like you've, with the change of wind here, things are going to start shifting. You're going to see a lot of forward movement. You're shifting your perception. I feel like you are allowing your emotions to be heard and felt and understood. Like you understand where they come from. At day's end, rest. I find peace in nature and rest my body and mind in order to connect to spirit. You allow yourself to rest. You allow yourself to be in flow. We have this new light that's coming in for you. Look at all these. You are very protective. You got a lot of protective energy. You've been protecting your inner child. You've been protecting your light, nurturing and growing. We have the hummingbird, and it's receiving the nectar. Your inner child is healing. You've been healing your inner child. We have expand. Your truth is expanding. Your vision's expanding. We have new goals, new aspirations. We have activate with solar flares. I was just talking about the sun. You're feeling more optimistic, more excited. You know that success is on the horizon. You have been successful in healing your inner child. And you found your truth. You restored your truth. You've been utilizing your wisdom, gaining more wisdom about your experiences and finding meaning in the challenges and the difficulties. Oh wow, and you have the sun actually coming out with the solar flares. Wow. This is a lot of activations coming in for you. A lot of truth being revealed. A lot of upgrades. That's awesome. Woo! Okay, so we have toxicity. Distance. Time out. Okay, and that's coming out under the rest card here. So we have taking some time to rest, distance yourself from anybody who has a lower vibration, lower energy, toxic behaviors, that negative, people, that type of stuff, anything that brings up any kind of, draining feeling to you. It's also healing any of those old patterns from the past as well. But I feel like you have been doing that. With the sun and the source of water. Like I was saying, I feel like you understand where your pain comes from. You understand where the patterns come from. I feel like you are upgrading. You are removing yourself from any toxicity in your life and distancing yourself from any of those lower vibrations, any of those old fears, old worries, old doubts, the old wounds. And there's these beautiful activations coming in for you. What else do we have? Guarded. Holding pattern, security. And we have freedom. That's awesome. Freeing your inner child from any of those lower vibrational energies and allowing your inner child to feel loved and acknowledged and validated. That's what's up. Congratulations to you. And we have magic and flow. Yeah. You are restoring balance within the divine masculine, the divine feminine, by working on healing your inner child. Your heart and your mind are coming online and becoming more in sync with one another. You're tapping into your divine flow, allowing your emotions to surface, allowing yourself to have more understanding and perception, validating the emotions and the fears of your inner child, but comforting them so that they have that healing and understanding, so that you can be more perceptive to where you're being guided, being more in the present moment, and allowing yourself to be, in a state of expansion and love, gratitude for the present moment, more optimistic about the future, more opportunities coming in. Wow, the reading was very, very, the cards were very self-explanatory here. Let me get you something else. So, what should you do with this new awareness, this new perception here of healing? The magic of flow. Freeing yourself from that, yeah. That's a lot of freedom, expansion, tapping more into your spiritual gifts, into your spiritual gifts. We have happiness, yeah, I was just talking about that. So you have be the master of playful living, release expectations and enjoy every day. Let worry go and instead choose love. Surrender to the waves. Your good destiny of love is sure. I mean, look at that. Go with the flow, you know what I mean? Release any expectations, let go of any fears, opening that heart chakra, having gratitude for how far you come and everything that you have been through, all the lessons you've learned, and for that strong, independent, light that you have within yourself, that strength that you carry. This is leadership energy. We have grace with swan. You who glide across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. Happiness, grace. Maybe that's the magic coming in. Maybe you have opened the gateway to be receptive and to be open and receiving of some divine blessings, happiness, and opportunities to come your way right now. You're being offered this divine grace, so blessings coming your direction. Let's see what else we have for you, pile number 2. Ooh, look, you got freedom twice. You are freeing yourself from all these programs, from the pain and from the suffering, from limitations. We have freedom with the horse. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. I was just saying that. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. Look at that with the change in wind. It's going where you are being guided right now. Going with the flow. Allowing the winds of change to carry you in a new direction, a new beginning that is going to be so, you're going to be so happy. It's filled with happiness. It's filled with love. It's filled with freedom. Freedom from this toxic energy. Freedom from the past. And we have the humpback whale with singer. Sing healing songs for the world. Your inner navigation always guides you. Nothing can stop you and keep you from your good. Align with your purpose and the power in your soul. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's get one more here. So, follow your heart. Allow yourself to be guided. There's magic waiting for you. Oop, the goats agree. pile number 2 and get one final card for them as they follow their hearts after everything that they have accomplished. Ooh, we have assertive with the cougar. In silence, you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and the confidence to succeed. Right, you can't make that up. I was saying that you are meant to be a leader, to shine your light, to be a guide to others, to offer them maybe guidance on how you achieved and brought this healing into your heart, to your inner child, and freed yourself from the trappings and the toxicity of the past, of the lower vibrations, and brought this healing, love and light and inspiration into the world. How you brought healing to your heart, to your inner child, you know, and it's because you have a lot of strength. You're very determined, and you hacked yourself out of the matrix, pile number 2. You shattered the illusions. You did it. You accomplished your mission, and now there's something else that you're being guided to do, and it is to sing your song, shine your light, be your authentic self, and be a guide for others. That is the enlightenment. Woohoo! So proud of you. You're going to have that Buddha energy, that happiness, that childlike innocence, where you see things from that childlike perspective, you know. You're not ruled by fear. You don't allow fear to control you or to take up any kind of space in your heart and your mind. You know that you're always being guided. You know that you are protected. You know that everything has purpose and meaning. And you understand your fears. You understand your inner child's wounds and where they come from. And you've brought that healing, nurturing, protective energy to your inner child, which has brought in this place of freedom, strength, and courage that is something to be admired. And it is very inspiring. So thank you for being here, pile number 2. Alright guys, that was your reading for today. Thank you so much for being here. If you feel like sharing your story below, thank you so much. I appreciate all your comments. If you don't know what to say, just let me know. Pile number 2 is your reading. I'm sending you all so much love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading, pile number 3. You guys were drawn to the Observer card with the dragon head. So, I know with the Observer is about seeing things from an objective point of view, staying back and just being more observant, seeing things from a different perspective. It's almost like stepping outside of your your eyes and or your mind, stepping outside of your mind and observing your thoughts a little bit. So let's see what is awakening within you. Pile number 3. We have the Queen of Fire. Okay. This has to do with action. Oh, the 5 of Earth. Okay, so with this here, you're being asked to have a more observant, be more observant of your mind, of your ego, of your thoughts. Where are you perhaps maybe lying to yourself? Is there somebody in your life who almost, kind of like takes, it's messed up to say, but takes like enjoyment out of your suffering, like if you're in a negative space and you're not feeling so good and maybe you're seeing things from, a negative point of view, and this person kind of feeds that negative point of view. They don't help you to shift out of that perspective. They kind of want to feed that fear a little bit or feed the anger. They don't necessarily help you shift and move and change your perception in any kind of way. They kind of just, like feed that negative mindset. It's like they're almost profiting off of your your anger, your fear, or your disapproval of something. Feels kind of icky, but it also could be your ego, your mind too, playing tricks on you and wanting you to see things from a negative point of view, you know, and to feel like a victim to your circumstance where you have no power. And I feel like you're being asked to empower yourself and to have a more objective point of view, to stand outside of your emotions and your thoughts that are very, very reactive, and try to understand them and observe the source of them and where they come from. And sometimes what is being offered to you is not, you know, oh gosh, how to explain this to you guys. Okay, so when we have fears and let's give an example. So somebody doesn't feel good enough, they don't feel worthy, they don't feel loving because in their childhood they experienced, you know, times of stress and sadness, and they were pretty much just told to suck it up, and nobody really cared that they were hurt or, you know, had needs. And so now as an adult, they will almost, because that is their belief system, the belief system is I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, they almost end up attracting people in their life or situations to themselves that validate that belief system. And so when we have a belief system in our, you know, in our hearts, in our minds, in our auras that say that we're not good enough, or that we're not lovable, we're not worthy, we're not deserving, those types of programs, we will manifest that in the world around us. We will manifest situations that will validate that belief system for us. And they are not the truth, but at the time when we were young, this is when they originated from. That's where they began. And if we don't do the healing work to change them and shift our perspective, then it will constantly be something that manifests in our world and our lives and our interactions with our relationships with individuals to validate that belief system. So there is something that you need to observe, that you need to change, that is validating a fear or negativity, a negative mindset in your life. And it's either an individual or it's a belief system that you have about yourself that is manifesting in your life that you need to shift and change and to heal. Okay, and this is before a birth. It is something that, you know, it does require a lot of work. You have the bee up here. And it is about putting that work and that effort to shift your perceptions, shift your thoughts, shift your beliefs about yourself and about the way that you see yourself or the way that you're seeing a situation. I really truly feel like it's more like a relationship here versus, you know, a situation or experience. I feel like it's more about an individual here. Because some people like to, you know, benefit off of your suffering or to see you struggle in some kind of way. And because it makes them feel good, it makes them feel superior, or like they have power and control over you, that they can manipulate you into seeing things through their eyes and through their perception instead of you knowing your truth, you knowing your power, and you being more observant of the energies and of the situations of your thoughts, and being more in control of your emotions and how you perceive the energy. Somebody else might be a little trickster and manipulating your perception of events. Let's see what else we have. We have the King of Earth, somebody who knows his truth. And I feel like, yeah, that's what you're being asked to do, is to rise up, stand in your power, claim your power back. Be more confident in yourself and your abilities. And to become more centered and focused and grounded, where you know who you are, you know the meaning behind your feelings, you know why you have certain fears or where the energy comes from. You know, why do you feel this way? Why do you think this way? Maybe you have certain judgments that aren't serving you. And that could be about yourself or about others. But there definitely needs to be some type of effort or work to be put in, and not to be afraid to learn, you know, and to free yourself, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to free yourself from this limitation, from this illusion, from this fear, and to bring in more healing energy so that you're not holding on to any kind of emotional baggage or any doubts or any fears, you know. So you can be more successful, more balanced, more stable, more happy in your life. But it takes a little bit more time. It takes you some practice. It takes you to be more observant, you know, to question, where does this thought come from? Where does this belief system come from? Why do I feel this way? You know, pay attention to the thoughts that may be cycling over in your head. Are they coming from your truth? Is this really what you believe? What is your particular belief system? You know, and I've always done that even since I was younger, when, you know, like, it's like going to school and being bullied and picked on, you know, what people value as somebody who's like, you know, school's like this popularity contest, and you gotta have like the coolest outfits and, you know, be the prettiest and all this kind of stuff in order to fit in, and this is what it looks like to be, you know, this is what popular means, is you have to look like X, Y, and Z, you know. It reminds me of The Breakfast Club. Like, I love that movie because it showed all these different perspectives of what it's like to be, you know, just human, and everybody grows up in a different home, and there's different opportunities for each child based on their children and what they have, their parents, and what the parents can have to offer them. And some children aren't offered love, and some children aren't often offered a solid foundation. Some children have one parent, some have abusive parents. You know, everybody is dealt a different hand, and it's understanding that everybody is functioning from, you know, not, I wouldn't say everybody, because a lot of people have done the work and healed their wounds, but most people function from a place of pain and hurt and programming of what we're supposed to look like, how we're supposed to love, what success looks like, what we value as success, you know. And they always want us to you know, want to aspire to be a celebrity in some kind of way, because we see that as success, you know, how much money you make is success. And like me, I never saw it like that. For me, it's what makes me happy and feeling fulfilled in my life. You know, what are the things that I enjoy doing, and do I get to experience them and engage in them on a day-to-day basis? It's, you know, yes, people want to be financially stable and understand that nobody wants to worry and stress about bills, but to just be like rich and a celebrity and famous and on TV and all that kind of stuff, like, you know, more power to you if that's like your goal and your dream, and you have something inspirational to share with the world. You know, happy for you. But for me, I wasn't basing my value, my worth on that type of success, and that was, for me, what I would aspire to be and do. So, but that's because I know who I am. And a lot of people don't take the time to learn who they truly are, their authentic selves, because most people are playing on a tape or a program a box that they have to put themselves in order to fit in and feel like they are accepted, you know, because they cross these T's and dot these I's, and that's what society says is, you know, what it should look like, and I'm trying to uphold that standard, you know, and living up to other people's standards and other people's approval. And it's time for you to understand, where does that come from within your own being, and what standards do you set for yourself, and not letting other people manipulate you and take advantage of you, where you have more control, more power, to feel more secure within yourself. And that's what you're being guided to do. It's to activate your power. We have spirit guides. I open my heart to my guides, and trust in the wisdom they share with me. Okay. And you're being asked to have an objective point of view, to see things from a higher perspective. Maybe ask your guides to be with you, to guide you on this quest that you're about to go on. There's a lot of changes and shifts going to be taking place for you. Your higher self is guiding you. You're being activated to go on this journey here of self-discovery. Ooh, we have Saturn, the structure. Yeah, what are the patterns that need to be changed? Where am I feeding a fear or an illusion? Where am I allowing myself to feed feed the fears or illusions? We have solar, calm, and clarify. Yeah, you need to come into alignment with yourself and your truth, and get things in order. Understand your actual belief systems. What do you truly believe, not based on anybody else's belief system or what society says or what your parents say. What is your actual truth? And you'll know what your truth is through your personal experience. It'll resonate with you differently than it will, somebody else's truth. When you know your truth, you truly feel it through the core of your being, and when you have that truth, anybody having a conversation with you about their truth isn't something that will trigger you into thinking, well, maybe I'm wrong, or anger that you can't have a conversation and allow somebody else to have a different point of view. And that can happen with a lot of spiritual people, religious people, where they believe that their way is the only way and that their truth is the truth, and we have to bend to their truth even though our experience hasn't shown us that. We are all different expressions of Source Creator. We are all here to have a different experience, and it's nice when you have other people to share your experience with who aren't coming from a place of judgment and condemnation. And anybody who's for me, I already know who is somebody not to share my truths with, because they're very judgmental and shaming and judgy. You gotta know your tribe. But you also have to know your truth and know your foundation and what you stand upon, because that has been your experience. And because that is your truth, you would be able to have a conversation with somebody and not have a fear that you're wrong in some kind of way. Your experience is your truth. That's what you've been through. And to validate any of those experiences that just need to be validated so that you can heal from them and let them go and understand them and move forward. That's the healing of the programming, is to clarify the truth, understand why this happened, what were you learning from this experience, and to take the lesson from that experience and move forward and let that be your, it's part of your story, but it doesn't define who you are. It's where you come from, what you've been through, and what you've overcome. It's to become the victor and not the victim, not to sit in the pain and the struggle and the grief and the depression and the anger. It is to empower yourself through that and to break through that barrier that wants to limit you from attaining your true potential. You have Mercury with the Caduceus staff messages. Like I was saying, you're definitely going to be receiving messages. If you're not already, be open to receiving guidance from your guides on how to bring this healing energy in. They're going to be communicating to you and showing you signs where you limit yourself, or where you allow people to put you down, or you allow yourself to be disillusioned about your truth, or there's old patterns that are coming up for you, old belief systems that aren't the truth. They're gonna come up in your mind. They're gonna flash sometimes as memories, or an emotion will get triggered. That's how you know that this is part of the healing that you're meant to be doing, part of the observing where they come from, why they're there, what are they showing you, what are they guiding you towards. And of course they're guiding you towards healing. We have reunion here. Partnership, past returns. So with that partnership, you know, there's this reunion. It's coming into balance within your own self, where your heart and mind are in sync. You learn how to be in partnership with yourself. You don't gaslight yourself out of your own emotions, you know, out of your fears. You don't ignore the fears. You address your fears and where they come from, you know, by validating them. Understand that they originated from a childhood wound, you know, something that happened to you then, and that's where this belief system came from. It originated from here, and I understand that, but now it's time for me to heal and to move forward and shift those belief systems, because they're no longer serving you. It's time for you to evolve, to move forward, to have more understanding, to clarify, you know, that experience so you have more understanding. And we have receive. Right. The more that you work on this wound here, the more open you're going to feel, the more receptive you're going to feel. You won't be blocking yourself from having healthy relationships, and it's having that healthy relationship with yourself first before you can then be open to receive any kind of relationship with another individual. But you're definitely being asked to open your heart, to be more receptive, and the more receptive you are, the more messages you'll receive, the more guidance and support you'll have on your journey to healing here. Some of you may have somebody come into your life, some that may help offer some healing. If there's a core wound here that involves like a relationship, you know, that can be with a partner or with a parent or something, I definitely feel like you're going to bring that healing to yourself. Self-deception, making wise choices. Okay. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Where have you been? You know, at the beginning I was saying, where have we been lying to ourselves? You know, is there something that you've been telling yourself, you know, that's not really hurtful, or is your truth, but it's not really, you know, it's coming from a place of denial, where we tell ourselves not to feel something, or, you know, that it wasn't that painful, you know, so that we get over it, or I'm done healing from this, it doesn't hurt me anymore. You know, the lies that we tell ourselves, that we think is beneficial, but it's not, you know, it's really not serving you. Because when something hurts, you know what I mean, there's no denying that it was painful. And the more that you can have that acceptance that it was hurtful, it was painful, this is what I experienced, this is what I went through, the more you validate yourself, the less hurtful it's going to be over time. You know, it won't feel like it's this, you know, right there on the surface core wound that every time something happens, it just, you know, you're ready to explode or, you know, react in some way. You've learned to have that acceptance, to be more in the flow, that when you feel something, you acknowledge that feeling. You know, it's not reacting to it, it's acknowledging that there is this energy in your energy field. There's this emotion that's coming up, and the emotion's tied to a thought, to a belief that I have. And so I want to understand where it's coming from. Why do I feel this way? What are you guiding me towards? What are you showing me? What am I not seeing? You know, is there a belief or a judgment that I have that needs me to shift so that I can move forward and not have to keep feeling this or seeing this or remembering this over and over again? Okay. We have comfort. Yeah. That's how you comfort yourself. This is how you heal, is by bringing that comforting energy, that validation of what you experienced and went through, you know. And finding it's giving that wound a voice, you know, so you're not shutting it down and ignoring it. You are trying to understand it and heal it. Where did it originate from? So it then isn't something that you pass down genetically in your DNA for future family, for future relatives, for them to do the work that you are unable to do. Because now, you know, if you don't understand that you have patterns and that There's belief systems that you have that aren't necessarily true. They're not of love. They're not of understanding and happiness and, you know, making you feel comforted and nurtured. It's something that will eventually move forward and carry on down the bloodline. So we have to do our best to heal ourselves by comforting and nurturing ourselves through the pain that we experienced in childhood, in our lives where we may have had traumatic situations, you know, or moments where we felt left alone, abandoned, unworthy, and seeking approval. All right, we have faith coming out. I'll get you a few more to end these cards. Comfort and faith. Yeah, believe in yourself, pile number 3. You can do this. You just have to make that commitment to yourself and to take it one day at a time. You know, start paying attention to those patterns that come up, to those belief systems. Once you start hearing your negative self-talk, or you start hearing that critical mind, that judging, you know, voice or whatever, stop it right there, you know, and ask it some questions. You know, start investigating it. Where do you come from? Why are you there? Where did you originate? When did I first feel this way? You know, where did this come from? Is this my truth? Is this my belief? You know, do I need to hug myself more? Was I experiencing something as a child at this moment in time, and this reminds me of that time frame, and so I need to love my inner child right now. They either been lonely or abandoned, so I'm going to give them a hug and nurture them and tell them it's okay, and give them faith and give them the knowing and comfort that you survived it, that you overcome it, and now you're in charge, and you're the one who decides, you know, where you go from here and what to do from now on. You know, you can rely on yourself and realize that you are the one you've been waiting for to come help you, to offer you that wisdom and that love and that comfort and that validation. All right, can we get a final card? We have ideation. Okay, so it's a thought process, something that you believe, a fear. We have sweetness. Okay, so just confirmation, more confirmation that you need to love yourself, comfort your fears, understand where they come from, shift your perception and your belief systems. Okay, do some inner child work, pile number 3. You're being asked to be more understanding, more nurturing to yourself, more observant of the emotions and the ideas and the beliefs that you have, and learn where they come from so that you can heal them and overcome them, overcome your struggles. All right, pile number 3, I'm going to go ahead and close your reading down. Thank you so much for being here. If you resonated with this reading and you feel like sharing your story below, I would love to hear from you. If you don't know what to say, just let me know. Pile number 3 was your reading. Thank you all so much for being here and supporting my channel. I'm sending you guys so much love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day.